Hey, thanks for joining me for another video. And today we're going to go over something quite important. The importance of having an adequate emergency fund and what happens if you don't have one set up. And nope, they didn't teach us this in school either. So watch this video till the end, answer the question, and leave it in comments, and I would greatly appreciate it. And let's start with this. Most Americans don't have an adequate emergency fund set up, even for the smallest of unexpected expenses. And according to one article in CNN Money, most people can't even afford a simple emergency of $1,000. And one of the very first steps that you should take, and one of the most important steps you should take in your road to financial independence, is to set up a good emergency fund. And that emergency fund should cover anywhere from 3 to 12 months of your basic living expenses. Depending on your situation, that number may vary. So let's go through an example here. Let's meet Tony. Tony's 35 and he's been saving at work in his 401k for a little while now, and he's saved up a little bit of money, a pretty good amount of money. He's managed to accumulate a decent amount for his retirement years. But one thing, unfortunately, he hasn't done is saved up a decent amount in his emergency fund, and we're going to go over why that's so important. So one day his company decides to downsize him, like many do, and this leaves him in a very dangerous situation. And unfortunately, to make it even worse, he wasn't eligible to collect unemployment insurance. So at this point in his career, he's saved about $70,000 in his 401k, which is good, but not that much in his basic emergency fund. And let's say his basic expenses are about $2,000 a month, and he has a good credit record with a couple of credit cards, which he doesn't really like to tap into. And of course, he also has the option to dip into his 401k if it's a real emergency to meet his basic expenses. So 5 months go by, and after a long search, he finally finds another job. And because he only has an emergency fund set up for a month of his expenses, he had to withdraw $8,000 from his retirement account. But after paying for taxes and early penalties for withdrawing it early, that $8,000 has become $16,000. So his nest egg is now reduced to $54,000. Now, one thing to note, when he left his job, he had 3 options. He could leave that money in the 401k. He could, at work, he could 2, take it out and roll it into an IRA, which would be smart. Or 3, take it out and cash it in and spend it. And he could probably use that for his emergency fund, which is not that smart, but that might be what he has to do. So he chose the 3rd option because he didn't have an adequate emergency fund set up. So let's start with going over what he had. He had started off with $54,000 after he made his first withdrawal, if you can remember. So now the money after taxes and early penalties and all that has been reduced to $27,000. And this is all because he didn't have an adequate emergency fund in place, so he wouldn't have to tap into his retirement money at work. So let me ask you a question, and leave it in comments. What was the actual cost of dipping into his his retirement fund. What's the actual? And don't forget about the lost opportunity of money not working for him any longer. Don't forget to add that to the equation. Thanks for watching the video, and if you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.